Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to 15 Good Minutes. It's your guy, Coach B. And as always, I'm here with the A-team. JR, how we doing this week, buddy?
I'm good, man. NCAA out.
Fair enough. Freddie, how you doing, sir?
Battling through depression.
And I feel your pain. So, we got a couple things to talk about this week. Let's start with that. Earlier in the week, both the men's and women's NCAA championship games were played. South Carolina beat UConn handily. Dawn Staley's team did a great job. And then on the men's side, Kansas came back and beat University of North Carolina. So before we get into the stuff we're going to talk about this week, let me start off and just get your final thoughts on the NCAA championship games in both cases. JR?
I think I felt they were good games, especially I didn't see too much of the ladies, but the men's it was a good game. I think that Kansas City most likely got a new one torn at halftime. They can come out saying how much they love the coach and want to play, but I know he must have said something in there. I had a question about the MVP though. Remy played just as well as Agbaji. You understand? So when I look at box scores, it's a difference of what? 3 points scoring each.
I think it's well beyond the points though, JR. They looked at the starter and I think they may have said it was for the game, but I think it was for their entire run.
For the entire run.
Because
their stats look almost identical. So, that's why I was kind of questioning that. But they play well, and the sad part for North Carolina is that's a game they could have and should have won, I feel. I know you live by the 3 and die by the 3, and I've been saying this the whole time. If I'm up by 15, 16, if I'm not hitting threes, I'm not going to keep shooting them. I'm going to the hole. They had nothing for Bocat. They couldn't, if they would have gave the ball to him, he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
They still couldn't handle him. He was doing what he wanted in the middle. So
now
it's a lot of ifs and whatever, but that's just my opinion.
Freddie? So. Your final thoughts on the NCAA championship games from earlier this week?
Well, I watched the UConn South Carolina game, and like I mentioned, South Carolina just played bully ball the entire. And I've never seen a Gino Auriemma team be dominated like that. And if you look at UConn had some pretty big girls too. They had a couple big girls. So it was just kind of like, wow. But it was a good game. Props to South Carolina for the unfinished business. Going over to the men's game, I was very disappointed and depressed. Still am. It's probably gonna take me a couple of days to get over because I was actually gonna record from the man cave and have my Carolina banner on the table, but maybe for another time. Because I was thinking, dang, man, hey, Rusty, you're gonna have to get a new banner, but to no avail. But I thought that to JR's point, we shot too many threes. We up 15 points coming out of half. Like JR said, you should have been trying to get something inside at the basket. You didn't need threes, get twos. I also felt like, some of the foul calls I'm not blaming it on the refs. I'm not, but I don't understand how you can be up 15, 18 points, be down 15, 18 points, and be as aggressive as Kansas was, and there not be foul calls during that stretch, as many foul calls during that stretch. But on the other hand, you were getting foul call against UNC. I'm not blaming the refs. I'm not saying they was cheated, but there was just something I noticed, and I felt like Hubert. I think he got out coached in the second half. I felt like he got out coached because I felt like he got caught up in the emotion of the game.
Live action.
I'm like, come on, Hubert. beautiful soundbite, but it was a little too much. And I, honestly, it was a great season. I wish Brady could come back for another year. I wish we'd have had Dawson Garcia. I wish we'd have had the other kid, Anthony, that got hurt. Maybe they could have gave us a little bit something. Great. I hope Puff used this as a springboard into next season.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say a couple things. I think there's a similarity between the two victors, South Carolina and Kansas. Both of them were number one, respectively, when everything got shut down for COVID. That's a hell of a motivator. They were having career years when we didn't do the championship. And then, like I said, on the women's side, Gino's teams are always very good, like you say. I thought Dawn's team was consistent and they were good all year. And they did, like Freddie said, they played bully ball. They posted up, down low. That ball went in there and they dared you to foul them. On the men's side, obviously, I wanted Carolina to win, but I take nothing away from the season. I've always felt that in the NCAA championship, you're as good as you are that day. I don't care how you got there. I go back and look at St. Peter's. They didn't win their conference. They were fourth in their conference. Caught the win when they needed to and rode a pretty nice wave. The thing I think that sticks with me is I've been in championship games, and I remember distinctly the losses actually more than the wins. And the last time we lost by 6, and I can find 6 points anywhere. Well, in this game against Kansas, one thing sticks out to me. Independent of the lost lead, less than a minute to go, Carolina is up. McCormick fights for a layup, misses the layup. We have position. We box him out, and he fights over it, gets it, and gets the stick back, and we don't score again. So to me, it's about fight. I think Kansas came out and punched Carolina in the mouth at the start of both halves. The difference is in the first half, Carolina got up and fought back. In the second half, Carolina started watching. But still, I'll tell anybody, and most coaches will say this, tell me that we're going to be up 1 with 40 seconds to go in the game and the ball, I'll take my chances in the national title game. So I think what's going to sting for Carolina long term is they're going to look back and see so many ways they could have won it. To Freddie's point, some coaching. I was actually in a GameStop store today, and for me, I've been wearing the gear, all week because that's what I got to do. That's my team. And the kid behind the counter was like, "Yeah, tough loss there, coach." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Do you think maybe Carolina should have took another timeout?" So there's all kinds of reasons and good thoughts that were in there. But when the dust settles, I think all of them should be really proud of their accomplishment. I don't want to do anything to take away from the Kansas win. When it counted, to me, just as a purist, they fought harder. So moving on to what we got next. Springtime is here, and this week is the opening of Major League Baseball. All teams will have played their opening game either on Thursday or Friday. So I'm going to start with you, JR. Do you have any thoughts about opening day for Major League Baseball this year?
Hopefully it won't rain here in DC.
That might actually help here. We're picked to lose over 100 games, so I'll take a rain out.
But you know what, though, man? Those are prognosticators talking about what people are going to do. You know what I'm saying? So we got to play them. You got to play them. That's the whole deal.
Honestly, I'm actually a little bit more excited for it than I thought I would be. And I'm anxious to see how the fans respond to the lockout. I'm anxious to see how they support their teams or whatever and move past it. And I'm anxious to see how the players are going to come out and play and perform from the AL and the NL. And so I'm actually kind of a little bit excited about it. Not to mention I work from home, so I'll have a chance to watch some of the games, in the man cave.
The next big thing that folks are talking about is whether or not Shohei Ohtani can be a 30-30 guy, 30 homers and 30 stolen bases. Yes or no?
I believe so. He's already proved there's almost nothing he can't do. If he stays healthy, I think he can do it.
Now he would be the guy I would say would probably be MVP.
Well, he's the reigning MVP, right?
Right, exactly.
Will the Nationals trade Juan Soto?
Oh, that's a question I don't want to answer.
If it makes them better, Get rid of him.
I think Freddie's right.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Russ. That's why I want to answer.
Well, that's the thing too, Jared, which is, one of the concerns that I have is that, and that's why I'm saying today anyway, Washington's, picked to lose 100 or more games. They tanked the team last year, have done nothing to really rebuild. I mean, you got Nelson Cruz now, but
Yeah.
They can get to Freddie's point, you can basically restock your entire roster off the way Juan Soto's
one guy,
playing
yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
So I don't know that it will happen. I don't want to see him traded, but at some point you're talking about a team that, 3 years ago won it all. You can't be
Yes.
rebuilding forever. You got to get that
Right.
back. Now we've tasted that type of championship in the city. We're going to want that again.
Well, and you'd hate to have to face this guy, and he comes and you face him and he's killing you all the time too.
Oh, bound to happen. You know how that script works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next baseball question for you guys: Will Albert Pujols reach 700 home runs? You may know he's now back in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I believe this will be his last
final
year
curtain call.
being in St. Louis at the time that they have the DH. Right, I think works well for him. And right now he would need 21 dingers to get to 700. You think he makes it?
I think he can do it if he's DH in every game. I think he can do it.
I think if he stays healthy, I think he gets it.
Last question I got for you guys before we wrap up. Another thing that started this week was the Masters. Tiger announced that he's playing. By the time we release this week, he will have already been there. Your thoughts on Tiger picking this particular venue and tournament to come back?
Tiger is just great for golf. If he comes out, they're gonna bring people out to see him. So win or lose, everybody's chasing Tiger. If he comes in, let's say between one and winning, it's going to be a great story.
Good points from JR. Freddie. You're a fan of Tiger coming back in the Masters?
Just go away, Tiger. Just go away. You haven't
You
been
say
right.
that about Brady, man. Brady's
Yeah.
older than Tiger.
Just go away. He just needs to go away. Go do something. Go buy a team. Go buy a course or something. Go start your own. Just go away because he's tarnishing a great legacy. And that's one of the things you don't want to do as an all-time great is still be out there trying to compete. And you're terrible. And you don't.
Oh man.
No, just go away.
What you
Just
guys
go.
said, JR? Look like you had something on your mind there.
Talk about black on black crime.
To Freddie's point, sometimes you have to take yourself out. I like Tiger, to be clear. I like what he does for the game of golf. Also, to be clear, should he be playing in this Masters? And again, I'm sitting out here talking to you guys, so I'm not the expert. I think it's more ego than anything else. This week's question of the week is coming from Freddie. What do you got, buddy?
Who do you think is responsible for what's going on with the Lakers right now? Who? Anybody? Tell me who is responsible for this filth they continuously put out on the court every night. Why are they even playing on Sunday primetime game? What afternoon game? Why? Why are they playing? Who is responsible for this? Let us know.
Let us know how you really feel about the Lakers.
Yeah, 100%. And you can leave your response to Freddie's question of the week in the comment section on our YouTube channel or over on Twitter at 15 Good Minutes. As always, we appreciate your interaction. I do think that's a very good question. Both JR and I, we have answers too. We're going to hold them to next week once we see what our audience comes back with. So again, we want to take the time to thank you guys for following us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the interactions that you guys are doing on Twitter. We do read everything that you send. We respond. We're really glad to be a part of your social media life, as well as, you taking the time to either listen to us on a podcast or watch us here on YouTube. And with that, we will be back with you guys next week. Gentlemen, anything before we break?
Adios. Enjoy the baseball's opening day.
Go Hills.
Let's
Let it go.
Let's have
Let it
one
go.
for the Heels, Freddie, as we go out. Go Heels.
Great season.
Great season.